What's up YouTube? Welcome to the channel. So in this video we are discussing the subject of how do you plaster in window and door reveals. Now it is true that when it is done well, window reveals look incredible. When it is done badly, it looks horrendous. So in this video we're going to show you the process that we go about to plaster in window reveals so they look nice, straight, clean and crisp. So stay tuned. Possibly consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing and enjoy the video. But onto the video itself, what is the window that we are going to do today? Well, we thought just to make it really difficult for me, we're actually going to do a section of bifolds. So these here, these bifolds, they are about 4 meters. I do apologize for the light. They are about 4 meters long and it's about 250 mil, something like that wide. So I don't know what that is, about 10 inches, something like that. So obviously the bigger the door or the bigger the window, the harder it is. So I'm going to test my skills today to see if I can churn out a decent finish using nothing but a plastering trowel. Okay, so when it comes to plastering the reveals, you'll hear so many plasterers that basically say to plaster the reveals like this, so along the bead. And there's good reason for it. Basically it means that you don't get lumps in the reveals. However, to get the cleanest, best results, that is not the way we recommend. So the way we actually recommend is to start with, go from back to front and then go down the bead. So if you have a look at the window, you'll see it's a lot easier to get it tight up against the window, keeping it nice and clean, like so. So you can see the window is nice and clean. And then don't go right up to the window, because what happens is if you pull it off ever so slightly, you get a little ridge just there. It just builds up. Come back a bit like. So you just get a little bit of a build up there. Now, if you went right up to the window, that would just smear over the window. That's not what we want. And then you're going to just push the trowel back into it. Now, you'll also find a lot of people, they like to tape the windows. And to be honest with you, we used to do that as well. There's a good reason why we don't do it anymore. What happens, or what can happen, is when you run the tape along the window, and if the tape isn't running perfectly straight, it can actually almost give you a bit of a false reading, and it's actually really easy to plaster the reveals in not straight. So our preference is actually not to tape it and then just clean the window as we go. So same again. Every time you want to just clean the plaster off your trowel. So feed it in, cut it off, feed it in, and just keep taking the plaster off. And what we're looking to do is cut the plaster like that, so this edge of the trowel is clean. So this edge of the trowel is nice and clean. So keep cutting it like that. So cut and then smear it on. Like so. When it comes to the corner, what you want to do, so the plaster's here, just pull back like so, and then along. So just coming up ever so slightly off the window, so it doesn't smear it all up it, like so. And that takes out any possible lumps you have. And again, front to back. And then you can see I didn't look here, I ran right up to the window because the window was a bit lumpy. You can see it's smeared plaster all up against the window. I'm going to have to clean that off. So if you can stay away from that. It's less cleaning. So these are long. Now what we're going to do now, is we're going to use a brush and we're going to wipe out the window straight away. So this is obviously all wet, not a big deal. Just gently brush this out, very carefully. Now these are older windows, which is what these wet lumps are. These aren't new in. The last thing you want to do is leave this plaster in until the very end and it's gone off, and you have to scrape it off with a knife or a trowel, and it is such a pain to get rid of. It doesn't matter if it scratches the plaster, it's not a big deal. You're going to flatten this again before you do the second coat, so it's not a big deal. The other reason as well is for cleaning it off. What you can then do is you can then just stand back and just have a look and just see if it's looking straight. So you just stand back when the GoPro sorts itself out and just have a look and just see, oh, how straight am I looking. So what we're going to do is we'll catch up when we are applying the second coat. Okay, so we are now going for the second coat on these reveals, and it will go on much the same as the first. So starting back to front on the reveal, and then just come and go along the bead, straighten it out. Any dry rubbish, just scrape that off. Really make sure you push that gear in up against the doorway or the window, whatever you're plastering. So then what we're going to do, same again, you can see along here, we've got to build up a plaster on the reveal. So we're going to just brush these off, like so. Clean the brush pretty regularly. As mentioned already, don't worry about whether it digs any of your plaster out on the reveal, that's not a problem. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to flatten it again straight away. So really pinch it tight against that reveal. You'll notice I'm not coming straight back, I'm not going like this, just a slight curling motion, just so the trowel doesn't come off the bead all at one time. Brilliant. I get that corner nice and tight. That slight curl motion. Then we just stand back, have a little look. So what we'll do then is we will catch up at the point when we are doing a closing impasse before the wet dry. Okay, so we are now at the point where we are going to close these reveals in, which is essentially compressing the plaster, adding very little water. This is the trowel stage you do before doing a wet trowel. So what we're going to do is we are just going to add a little bit of water just against the frame, plenty hot, and we're just going to follow the same motion that we've done with every trowel stage so far. Again, a little bit of water against the frame, and then back to front, so from frame to the bead. Doing it this way guarantees that the line against the door stays straight. A little bit of fat, we don't want that, get rid of it. Corners, you just want to keep the corners out. So we're going to brush down the frame. And then what we're going to do is just stand back and then have a look again just to see how straight it's looking. And we'll just use our brush just to carefully clean up any loose plaster. Not looking to brush against the plaster now, just stay ever so slightly away from it. The bit behind the trickle vents, we'll just take that out with a small tool later. Okay, same here. Down the side, nice and gentle. And then just have a good look, just to make sure it's running straight. So far looking pretty good, so what we'll do then is we'll probably just leave that for about 20 minutes and then we'll do one and only wet trowel on it. It doesn't need 2 wet trowels, such a small area, so we'll do 1 wet trowel and then a dry pass after that. So we'll catch up at that point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the toe of the trowel. So we're going to get the toe of the trowel. We're just going to run it in the corner. Like so, and just nibble that out and brush that out. And then front to back. So again, wet the wall, bit of reveal, sorry, toe of the trowel, and just looking to sharpen up against the door frame. Use the trowel just to loosen off any plaster. Like so.
Ahí, ¿cómo ves?
And then the last thing to do is just get your brush and just and then the final thing to do is get the twitcher and push that in. And that really is it. That is how you plaster window or door reveals to get them nice and straight. What I'll actually do is I will put some stills right here of the final image, so you can the final product, so you can properly see how they came out. They came out nice, straight and square as they should be. So if you follow these simple steps, you too will be able to turn out window and door reveals which look fantastic when painted. Thanks again for watching. Consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks again.